Wyatt Coleman stood in the marble lobby of his Tribeca penthouse, watching his older brother Derek leave without saying goodbye again. The door clicked shut. The silence felt like a slap. On the counter sat a $4,500 check Wyatt had written an hour ago for Derek's investment opportunity. Beside it, a half-eaten croissant and a coffee cup Derek hadn't bothered to throw away. No hug. No thanks, man. Just the faint smell of expensive cologne and the familiar ache in Wyatt's chest that whispered, maybe next time he'll stay longer. He was 34 years old, vice president at Castellan Financial, worth north of 8 figures, and he couldn't buy 5 minutes of his family's undivided attention. It hadn't always been this way. Or maybe it had, and Wyatt had just been too desperate to notice. Growing up in Queens, he'd been the kid who worked 3 jobs to help his mother keep the lights on after his father left. He'd paid for his sister Bryn's college tuition when she got accepted to NYU. He'd co-signed Derek's first apartment lease, then his second, then quietly covered 6 months of rent when Derek's startup tanked. He told himself it was love. His best friend and business partner, Julian Hayes, called it something else. "They're bleeding you dry, Wyatt." They were in Julian's office at Castellan Financial, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Manhattan skyline. Julian, sharp, unrelenting, the kind of friend who told you what you needed to hear, not what you wanted, was glaring at Wyatt over his desk. "Bryn just asked you for 20 grand. Again. For what? A business idea? She's figuring things out. She's 31 years old." Julian's voice cracked like a whip. "And your mom? The Park Avenue condo you're paying for? The car? Wyatt, when's the last time she called you just to ask how you're doing?" Wyatt looked away. "She's busy. Busy spending your money." Julian leaned forward, his dark eyes fierce. "And don't get me started on Claudia." Wyatt's jaw tightened. Claudia, his fiancée, beautiful and polished, the kind of woman who looked perfect on his arm at galas. They'd been together 2 years. She'd said "I love you" exactly once, the night he'd surprised her with a diamond bracelet from Tiffany's. "She loves me," Wyatt said weakly. "Does she?" Julian's voice softened, almost pitying. "Or does she love what you give her?" Wyatt wanted to argue. He opened his mouth, and nothing came. Because the truth was sitting in his throat like broken glass. Julian pulled out his phone, scrolled, then turned the screen toward Wyatt. It was a text thread. From Claudia. To Julian's girlfriend, Simone. "Claudia, Wyatt's being so weird about the wedding budget. Like, what's the point of marrying rich if you can't have the plaza? Simone, girl, just reassure him. He'll cave. Claudia, he always does." Wyatt's stomach dropped. "Simone showed me last week," Julian said quietly. "I'm sorry, man. But you need to see it." Wyatt stared at the screen until the words blurred. His hands shook. "They don't love you, Wyatt. They love your wallet. And if you don't believe me," Julian leaned back, arms crossed. "Then test them. Test them. Pretend you lost it all. The job. The money. Everything." Julian's voice was cold, surgical. "Tell them Castellan fired you. That you're broke. See who stays." Wyatt laughed bitterly. "That's insane. Is it?" Julian tilted his head. "You've spent 15 years sacrificing for people who won't even stay for coffee. Prove me wrong. I want to be wrong." Wyatt sat there, the skyline glittering outside, his chest tight. He thought about Bryn texting him at 2 a.m. not to check in, but to ask for money. About his mother's disappointed sighs when he suggested a smaller apartment. About Claudia's eyes glazing over whenever he talked about work stress, but lighting up when he mentioned bonuses. How would it even work? Wyatt whispered. Julian smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Leave that to me." 3 days later, the news broke. Castellan financial executive terminated amid ethics probe. Julian had made it look ugly. Wyatt's accounts frozen. Assets under investigation. The Post ran a photo of Wyatt leaving the Chrysler building with a box of belongings, face grim. His phone exploded. But not with concern. "Derek, dude, what the hell? Are you seriously broke? Bryn, Wyatt, call me. This is bad. Mom, we need to talk about my condo situation." Claudia didn't text at all. She showed up. Have you ever realized too late that someone never really loved you, just what you could do for them? Drop your thoughts below. Claudia walked into the penthouse, his penthouse, The one he still secretly owned, like she was touring a crime scene. So it's true. Her voice was flat. No tears. No comfort. Just calculation. Yeah, Wyatt said, watching her. I lost everything. She glanced around at the furniture, the view, the life she'd posed in for Instagram. Then she slipped the engagement ring off her finger and set it on the counter. I can't do this, Wyatt. His heart cracked. Can't do what? Poor. She said it like the word tasted bad. I'm sorry, but I didn't sign up for struggle love. I need stability. I gave you 2 years. You gave me a lifestyle. Her eyes were ice. And now you can't. So, we're done. She left. No hug. No I'm sorry this happened. Just the click of heels on marble and the door closing behind her. His family was worse. Derek stopped answering calls entirely. Bryn sent a single text. Can't help you right now, dealing with my own stuff. His mother left a voicemail not asking how he was, but explaining she'd need him to cover the condo for just a few more months until she figured things out. They scattered like roaches when the lights came on. Wyatt sat alone in the penthouse, staring at his phone, chest hollow. Julian found him there 3 days later. You were right, Wyatt whispered. About all of it. Julian sat beside him, silent for a moment. Then, I'm sorry, brother. Don't be. Wyatt's voice hardened. I needed to see it. 2 weeks later, Wyatt called a family meeting at his mother's condo, the one paid for. They came. Of course they did. Wyatt stood in the center of the living room, Julian beside him, and smiled. I need to tell you something, Wyatt said. I didn't lose my job. Silence. Derek blinked. What? It was a test. Wyatt's voice was calm, surgical. Julian helped me stage the whole thing. The article. The freeze. All of it. I wanted to see how you'd treat me if I had nothing. His mother's face went white. Bryn looked at the floor. Claudia, who'd somehow heard and shown up, stood frozen in the doorway. And now I know, Wyatt continued. You don't love me. You loved what I could give you. The money. The safety net. The tickets and the rent checks and the bailouts. Wyatt, that's not, his mother started. Mom, you called about your condo app before asking if I was okay. His voice cracked. Bryn, you disappeared. Derek, you blocked me. And Claudia, he turned to her. You returned the ring like I was a bad investment. Tears now. From all of them. We're sorry, Bryn whispered. We didn't realize. That I'm a person? Wyatt's laugh was bitter. Yeah. You didn't. Please, his mother begged. We'll do better. We'll. No. Wyatt's voice was steel. You'll do better for someone else. I'm done setting myself on fire to keep you warm. He walked out. Julian followed. Behind them, the begging started, desperate, frantic, too late. Outside, the New York rain was cold and clean. You good? Julian asked. Wyatt breathed deep. For the first time in years, his chest didn't ache. Yeah, he said. I finally am.
Hope you learned something valuable from today's story. Stay tuned as we bring more interesting tales your way. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when we post. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Your support means a lot.